This video, Chapter 13 of the Dr. Anna Mamikonian Mysteries, is titled The Return to Washington. Anna and James arrive at JFK, carrying encrypted evidence. They spot MET agents watching in the shadows and quickly head for a taxi. James whispers that they are not safe yet. The taxi weaves through Queens traffic. Anna searches for surveillance pings while James watches for followers. They head to a secure Midtown hotel. Anna insists, "We need allies before they find us." At the secure hotel, James sets up counter-surveillance. Anna organizes research and prepares calls. They review the encrypted documents, transforming the room into a temporary war room. Anna calls a trusted cultural attaché at the Armenian embassy, requesting a private meeting in D.C. The embassy warns of Turkish surveillance, but they agree to meet in 48 hours. James stresses the need for speed. They board an Amtrak train to Washington. Anna reviews the Kars Treaty documents, and James organizes the Bernays public relations files. Anna gets special permission for the Library of Congress special holdings. They arrive unnoticed at Union Station. A suspicious black SUV is idled nearby. James quickly pulls Anna into a crowd, warning her that their enemies have followed them to D.C. Inside the library, security escorts them to the manuscript division. Staff hands Anna a sealed folder, confirming the special access they were granted. The Bernays Kamal folder contains British PR firm correspondence. It mentions American consultant influence and Ankara's modernization campaign. James realizes the widespread influence of Bernays. Wilson's internal memos contradict his public speeches, showing the 14 points were political tools without enforcement. Armenia's safety was barely mentioned. Anna realizes Wilson never intended to protect Armenians. The King Crane lost notes contain missing report pages detailing British sabotage and Turkish militias. The notes on Armenian vulnerability help fill a historical knowledge gap. The Harvard folder holds compelling eyewitness accounts, photos of destroyed villages, and details of Turkish militia regrouping. It includes a strong plea for Allied intervention. Anna concludes this evidence shows genocide in progress. They discover key documents were removed, noted as a, quote, classified transfer. Anna suspects British intelligence, while James considers a U.S. role. Someone clearly wanted this crucial information unseen. The archivist's note recorded a, quote, classified transfer of materials suspiciously removed from the folders. Anna suspects British intelligence, and James considers U.S. intelligence involvement. Someone did not want this crucial history seen. The British embassy requested removal of sensitive materials to protect diplomatic relations with Turkey. The documents focused on Armenian materials and referenced the controversial Kars Treaty. The Turkish embassy requested historical corrections and complained about Armenian researchers. Pressure was applied to restrict archive access. Anna was mentioned by name, realizing she has been tracked for years. The CIA folder contained numerous redacted pages discussing Near East narrative management and Bernays' public relations influence. James concludes the conspiracy goes much deeper. The Pentagon folder holds post-World War I border proposals, mentioning a strategic Armenian corridor and suggesting British obstruction. Notes reference Turkish militias operating near borders. State Department cables from 1919 to 1923 contain serious warnings about Turkish nationalism and explicit requests for Armenian protection. All diplomatic requests for protection were ignored. Anna connects Bernays' PR influence to Britain, which helped shape Kamal's image. Kamal and the GNA invaded Armenia, and the Bolsheviks finalized the betrayal. Wilson's 14 points were political tools, and reports like King Crane and Harvard were suppressed. Armenia was intentionally abandoned. James concludes the betrayal was a systemic failure. The 1921 Kars Treaty was signed by non-state actors while Armenia was under occupation. It lacked international recognition and is considered legally void due to a lack of authority. The U.S. refused the Armenian mandate, and the Senate blocked intervention. President Wilson was incapacitated. American isolationism prevailed, and the U.S. chose to walk away. Britain secretly supported the GNA, blocked Armenian appeals, and manipulated peace negotiations to secure oil routes. Britain engineered the collapse of the Armenian state. The Bolsheviks promised protection but delivered occupation. They illegally signed treaties like Kars, trading Armenia for a Turkish alliance. Armenia became political currency. The GNA illegally invaded Armenian territory in 1920, forcing the Kars Treaty. Victory claims were supported by propaganda, and Turkish authorities rewrote history using Bernays-style messaging. The American press largely ignored Armenian pleas. Crucial historical reports were buried, and public attention was diverted. The government avoided acknowledging the genocide. This deliberate silence implies national complicity. The 1921 Kars Treaty is still cited as legally valid, and present-day borders are based on this illegal treaty. Turkey uses the flawed treaty to justify land claims, severely impacting Armenia. Anna discovered metadata linking British PR memos to Bernays' influence. Bernays' work linked to the Ankara image campaign, which led directly to the Armenian collapse. A 1922 memo references an American PR consultant and the Ankara modernization narrative. The language matches Bernays' known messaging, proving external influence in the historical narrative. A memo from Wilson's aide reveals the 14 points were political tools with no plan for Armenian protection. This shows Wilson lied about his intentions, and the lack of enforcement intentionally misled Armenia. The King Crane and Harbord reports, which predicted the Armenian collapse, were both suppressed. Historical evidence shows warnings were ignored, proving the crisis was preventable. Anna realizes her family's story is in the documents, making the betrayal her ancestors endured clear. Feeling the generational trauma, she and James decide to tell the world the full truth. The archivist requests they leave immediately, as their special access logs have been requested. He hands Anna a private, sealed envelope. James whispers that they are definitely being watched. The sealed envelope from the archivist contained missing pages from the King Crane report. These pages revealed British sabotage and Turkish militias, helping to fill the knowledge gap. The secret envelope also contained Harbord's suppressed addendum, detailing Turkish military plans to invade Armenia. It revealed British approval and U.S. inaction, proving the historical crisis was preventable. Wilson aide's memo confirms the 14 points were political tools with no plan for Armenian protection. The U.S. never intended to intervene, and the lack of an enforcement mechanism intentionally misled Armenia. They quickly exit the library through a side door, spotting a suspicious black sedan. James pulls Anna into the large crowd, and they disappear into the D.C. traffic. Back in the hotel war room, they spread out the newly discovered documents. Anna and James build a clear timeline of betrayal, connecting Bernays' influence to the UK and Kemal, finally assembling the full historical picture. Every major empire strategically used Armenia for its own gain. Diplomatic warnings were deliberately ignored, and treaties regarding Armenian borders were illegal. A false narrative was engineered to conceal the truth. They carefully organized the newly discovered files into clear categories, drafting a preliminary white paper based on all the evidence. The urgent plan is to finalize the white paper and organize all evidence for immediate briefings. They prepare the final white paper based on all evidence and plan a confidential briefing for select U.S. senators. The focus is on the systemic betrayal and the newly found documents. They must move forward quickly to share the explosive truth. The plan is to prepare the final white paper and move quickly to share the powerful truth with select U.S. senators. The briefing will focus on the systemic betrayal revealed by the new documents. They continue to prepare the final white paper and plan the confidential briefing. The goal is to move quickly to share the powerful and important truth with select U.S. senators, focusing on the systemic betrayal. Anonymous texts explicitly warn them to stop their research, stating they were being watched. MET agents and British operatives were spotted near the hotel. The night before their testimony, their car was stopped at gunpoint, and they were taken to an undisclosed area.